Thank you, everybody, for attending today's Design Review Board of February 15th. If we could please start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Thank you, everybody, for your patience, and we will start with public comment. If anybody is here that isn't one of the applicants that would like to speak, please come on up to the podium. All right, we will close public comment. Oh, I missed attendance. Sorry, attendance.
So
Are you an applicant or a public comment? You would come up.
Will we have a chance later in the meeting?
This is public comment, so if I can reopen the public comment, and this would be your only chance if you're not an applicant. Does anybody want to come up and talk? Anybody? Sure.
If you do want to comment on the application, you're welcome to come up now.
But
Okay.
now
But you
would
won't
be
have
your
the
chance. You
opportunity
will
later.
not have a chance once public comment. If you would like to talk, please come up and talk, and then you'll be able, but you won't be heard later. Would you, no?
Okay.
Okay. Okay, well, while we wait for that, let's go ahead and do attendance first, and then we'll,
so noted.
okay. So we're going to reopen public comment. If you could just give us your name and address.
My name is Bill Thatcher. I'm at 545 Fox Hills Drive North. I have a question, and it involves the relationship between the condominium and the township. Okay? It's my understanding that the township is not entitled or authorized to enforce condominium documents. Is that correct?
You can make your whole comment, and then we'll wrap everything
sorry.
in when we do board discussion.
That's my only question.
Your question is if we enforce deed restrictions?
If you enforce the condominium documents, so that would be the terms of the deed and the bylaws and what have
The
you.
bylaws, okay.
Yeah,
So we will address that during the conversation.
yeah. That's all I can think of right now.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to speak? Okay, we're going to close public comment. And next we'll go to the minutes for the February 1st meeting. We've all had a chance to look them over. Unless there's any changes, I'd look for a motion.
So moved.
Motion by
Support.
Clerk Brooks, support by Treasurer Keeps. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That passes. So first we have our new item is for Jimmy John's at 42855 Woodward Avenue for signs. And then if the applicant wants to come up after Wade is done, you can go ahead and also add it.
Good evening. Good afternoon, I should say. We have a request from Jimmy John's on Woodward Avenue for a change in the logo for their signage as they're looking at some rebranding. The original sign, the original logo was approved by the Design Review Board and the Zoning Board of Appeals in 2010. There's a picture in your packet of what it looks like now. I will point out that the logo approved at that time was 7.7 square feet. The new logo, the JJ, as proposed, is a little over 5.6 square feet, so it is less than what was originally approved. The Jimmy John's lettering is essentially the same. It's just the change in the logo. The applicant is aware that this does require a Zoning Board of Appeals application. The size of the overall sign is compliant, but the logo itself exceeds 5% of that sign. The logo is 5.6 square feet when 1 foot is allowed per the calculations. Here's what the elevation would look like upon approval. And here's the 2010 approval for how the sign looks like today. As I mentioned, the Jimmy John's lettering is the same, and it's just the logo itself that's being proposed to change. And then an existing current photo of the facade today. So that's what I have for you. If the applicant has any more, or you have questions for me?
I do.
You want to ask before he goes, or?
Yeah, because it's really, can you go back to the logo, quote-unquote logo? And I guess my comment is, without trying to create the proposed new sign, it seems to me that those are really just letters, and they're larger letters. Same letter as the J and the Jimmy and the J and the John. The other one, the older one, is clearly a logo. These, to me, seem just like larger letters, and it seems to me that to, just try to be a little, save some time for everyone and maybe some costs, that maybe we can approve that here. And I guess it's just the question of, is that really a logo, or is it just oversized letters?
Is it a new logo? I guess we'll learn more when you talk. Though.
These are, they Jimmy John's. They redo the whole. They got the inside of the store and the whole rebranding. This is their logo.
Well, it's a logo, but they're just larger letters. I mean,
It's two JJs.
On
It's
this as a
JJ.
logo?
Yeah, just like the big
JJ
A.
is reflecting it
Yeah.
as a
So
logo.
that's.
okay.
This is the corporate. We have to follow their guidelines. So.
I get your guidelines. It would
Yeah,
seem to me
yeah.
they're letters.
I can't deviate,
but
so.
I'm not asking you to deviate. My comment is they're just larger letters.
Yes,
But if
that's what it
how
is.
you
Two
all want to deal
two
with
J's.
That's fine.
Yes,
No.
correct.
Did you want to add anything to the presentation?
It's pretty straightforward. The disc is a little bit larger than the two J's we're proposing, and that's just what it is. So we're just asking for the updated logo.
I have no questions, no issues or problems. I'm happy
Make a
to
motion. Go ahead.
make a motion to approve as presented and refer to the ZBA for its consideration.
Support.
Motion by Clerk Brooks, support by Treasurer Keeps. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That does pass.
Well, that was too easy.
That was one of our
Trying to make it
easier ones.
easier.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is going to be the facade improvements for 43003 Woodward Avenue, which is the Mobil Oil Service Station. And then again, if the applicant wants to come up after wave.
So we do have this property in the B3 district at the intersection of Square Lake and Woodward. And this recently went through the approval process for a new building at this location. And a part of that approval process were the elevations and materials and colors. And what this request is simply a change in color of the building only. No materials are changing. So what was originally approved by the Township Board included colors like buff, sand, berry wood, mountain lodge. If you can see down here, the tanner, the more tan elevation was what the original elevations were. The new proposed colors are more of a black and white, essentially. It's a limestone, graphite, silver, black color palette. Again, with no changes to the materials or the elevations as approved, simply the colors of those materials. Mr. Ketchman is here to add any comments or any questions for me.
Did you want to add anything else before questions?
Well, no, not really. We just, the owner wanted to get into a different color scheme because he's going to basically make all his buildings the same. So he thought the gray and black would be better for him. So we basically have the base bottom as almost like a black, and then with a sill that the sill would be a little bit lighter. The stone basically is a limestone color, which is a little gray but not white. And then the corner, the other stones, the cultured stones that we have, is a stacked stone, and it's also in the grays. They got 2 or 3 shades in the gray, so it's keeps separating. And then the awnings are the matte black that was originally approved, and we're going to make all the window frames all black also. So I think basically it's a nicer design, I think, with those colors than it is with the beigey colors.
Is this the one where we also had them adding windows and greenery and stuff? I don't see
No,
that.
the east elevation? was revised to reflect the direction from the board,
Okay.
Windows.
the windows and the awnings and the light fixtures.
And then the north elevation, nobody sees, is that why it's still the wall?
That's correct. That's facing the Kirby Coney Island. Rear of the building.
Okay.
Yeah, with the three windows, we really didn't go all the way across. It balances on either end of it with the stone and so forth, with the windows in the center, which is similar to the front.
Yeah, and it was more before, it was another one of the
Right.
long walls that was
Right.
unappealing.
So it'll read as if there's all nice windows across the east side of the building, yeah.
Did you have questions?
Yeah, I'm glad to see that in here. In our packet, though, it doesn't have windows. I think it's the old.
It's the old one.
Okay.
This one is a little bit further back in this packet is the new elevations.
Okay. Very good.
Should be.
So and this doesn't need to go to the board because this was just, okay.
What's that?
Yep. I make a motion to approve as submitted.
Support.
By Treasurer Keeps, support by Clerk Brooke. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Very good, thank you much.
Thank you, looks very
Thank you,
nice.
it looks nice.
Does. I look forward to seeing it done.
Thank you.
Great, so now we have Fox Hills. We have 411 Fox Hills Drive for site improvements. And if the applicant wants to come up from Fox Hills after Wade?
Okay, never mind. Ron, Patty says you gotta keep them.
Hi, I'm John Hart. I'm the property manager.
We'll start with Wade and then, sorry.
The request here is for a carport replacement program at the Fox Hills Condo Association. Here at the screen, you can see that Fox Hills Drive, and to the left of the screen is Opdyke. So Opdyke and Fox Hills is the location, and it is in the RM, Residential Multifamily Zone District. There are approximately 10 overall carports that are being proposed for the replacement program. The association is starting with this one right here along East Fox Hill Drive towards the back of the property. And the other carports have already been taken down by a previous management company. So they are proposing the same method of construction, same coloring and so forth for those others as funding becomes available to them. So while there is this one active right now, there are proposed to be approximately 9 or 10 more. Clarify the number for me when you get a chance.
I hope it's not 10. That'd be
Okay.
still my heart.
Okay, so that number will be clarified. But as we can see, the overall site plan of the lot, the yellows are the carports that will eventually be replaced in kind. The new carports are going to be reinforced concrete masonry walls. The structure is going to be on its original foundations, and the dimensions will replicate all of the original dimensions of those that have been removed at this point. The coloring is circled here. The backdrop of this picture is what the remaining carports look like today of the brick, multicolored brick. So the overall masonry walls will be painted in that middle color to blend with the existing. And you can see a current example of what I'm talking about, and this is a current carport that's on the site today. You can see back here is the one that I mentioned that is under current review, pending approvals with the Design Review Board. And I have a closer up picture. Here's an example of the concrete masonry wall painted and stained that lighter brick orange color. And this is the plan for all of the carports as they move forward as funding permits. Another shot of the previously started carport replacement in this location. And as I mentioned, they are actively pursuing this one, but there are multiple to come as funding permits for the association.
Yeah, thanks, Wade. Yeah, John Hart, I'm the property manager for Fox Hills Condominium Association, here representing the board. Wade has very succinctly summarized exactly what we're asking for. Just if you, Wade, if you could perhaps go back one of the two pictures, this one right here. One of the things that is of concern to both us as the board and the community as a whole is how do we best approximate the existing structures. And you can see this structure itself has a rebuilt wall at the back of it. These bricks are not available. So none is going to match perfectly. We felt that this is the proposed structure and coloring scheme is a wonderful approximation of it, a good blend to carry forward the tone, tenor, and quite frankly, the exact same size structure, and it's a CMU unit that's going to be much, much more durable and long-lasting, and quite frankly, far more cost-effective for the community. So other than that, going to kind of sort of look exactly the same with the fact that it's going to be a CMU wall, much more modern construction techniques, and we believe ultimately, if you go back, if you could wait to the first picture, all of these units are well within the visual confines of Fox Hills Condominium. It's not like it's sticking out on Updike Road, and this is going to be a side-by-side comparison, and people will be shocked at the potential contrast. Any questions?
So to Patty and Wade, are these within, referencing that there was a deed restriction question, are these within our zoning, and is there any issues restriction-wise with us?
Anytime there is an accessory structure that is a part of a multiple family or commercial is reviewed by the Design Review Board, so that's why it's before you today. And they are looking to replace the locations, so they're compliant. But it's the materials, color, texture, so forth, that requires review by the Design Review Board. We do not enforce, nor can we honor private condominium deed restrictions or bylaws. See, they're being represented by a management company as part of this proposal. And so that should the board support their intention to replace these units and rebuild, then that will be their opportunity to pull building permits. As the funding becomes available, they won't have to come back before the board to carry out that process.
And then just to point out that some of these deeds are built even before, or made before even civil rights existed. So if we did, for example, I would never be allowed to own a house in Bloomfield Township. Nobody of color, nobody other than a male white man would be able to. So there's a reason why we can't enforce illegal things. So that basically is why we stick with what we know is legal, which is our restrictions and our rules. So we often get that, but unfortunately a lot of these deeds would make you sick to your stomach if you actually read some of them from the 1940s and 50s. Do we have any other questions?
I do have some questions. CMU is what?
A concrete masonry unit.
Okay, and that's split face, correct?
That's what the new structure is. The old structure is a cinder block structure with a brick facade on the front, which is subject to all the deterioration that brick has when it's merely, in effect, glued to another substrate.
So this isn't painted, this is pre-dyed, correct?
This one is not. This one will be a paint.
You will be painted.
We will stain. It's a stain which has a 25-year lifespan.
Okay.
The new ones, the ones that come after this, will be a pre-colored, and we already have some on site that are virtually identical to this color.
Because I just wanted, I guess, to,
just be clear, we have some dumpster enclosures that are CMU units. This textured concrete masonry unit. They are pre-colored, and it comes in a variety of colors, just not available because of supply and demand issues now. That's why we're going with the stain on this one.
Good, okay. So you're saying that this is not going to match the dumpster enclosures?
Oh, it will.
Okay,
Yep.
very good.
And again, they're widely separated.
I got it, just for consistency.
Correct.
And this wasn't approved previously, was going up, and now they're coming for
It
approval?
was caught during the course of inspection.
Okay.
So they were quick to turn around an application
Okay,
for you.
got it. And you represent the association, and this was approved by the association's board?
By the board of directors, correct.
Okay. I have no questions, no further questions.
And we're being asked to approve not just the one under construction, but the series that would follow, as long as they're in the exact same design and colors.
I guess I actually do have another question.
Yeah.
What is the roof on all of them? I see a white under.
Yeah, if you could go back to the first one, the first picture, I think it's going to be a very similar corrugated roof to this one.
Okay.
So it's a metal corrugated deck.
And the same color? White or?
That's a great question. It's going to probably, this is not, it's white on the inside. This has been painted, decorated on the inside for a variety of reasons. The roof on the top of these is more of an orangish color, so the color that I believe we have coming for the corrugated roof is a dark brown, mid-tan.
So these are painted orangish, and the other one is?
The tops of these are orangish or black in some cases, but
And the new color?
it's a mishmash in the
gotcha.
old ones, yeah.
And
The
the
new
new
color will
color-
be I wish I could tell, Terratone, I think, is the color spec'd in the pre-finished steel.
The one you just passed, it has like 5 different brick colors right there.
Well, but
Was
this
it the
is
third one?
No, I think he was asking about the roof.
asking about the roof, just
Yeah.
so that we can have consistency. And so I guess what would you, I'm happy to make a motion, I just want to make it so that they're all consistent and that we know what the color is of the roof. What would you suggest that we use in terms of the color to describe what you're?
Good question. I believe the color is Terratone, but this.
Beige or a white?
It's a medium, it's a medium dark tan color.
Help?
Well, I guess what I'll do is make a motion to approve as submitted in terms of the color of the brick, and then I guess administrative approval to get to the exact tone that you're describing, which is okay? So
Okay.
These 10 locations.
in all of the locations that are being
Be
requested.
consistent, yes.
Yep.
Support.
Motion by Treasurer Keep, support by Clerk Brooke. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Thank you much.
Thank you.
Does pass. Thanks, John. Hopefully that helped. And next we have the East Square Lake, 1050 East Square Lake Road, Old Detroit Global Campus. And we have the applicants who want to come up.
So we have One Detroit Global Campus, formerly the Sterling Academy South on Square Lake Road near Squirrel. You can see in this outline is the property. And the request moving forward is for replacement of their fencing along Square Lake. And you can see in the purple pink is approximately 440 linear foot of black metal to replace their wooden fence that is there now. There will be 2 6-foot-tall proposed gates at their entrance. And you can see an example here of what the rest of the fence will look like for that 440 or so feet along Square Lake. The second part of this request is for a black chain link, 6-foot chain link fence running along the property here in yellow, and it would connect into an existing black 6-foot vinyl fence to the rear, as well as then connect to the metal fence at this location here. Squirrel Road is on this side over here, and you turn in this orientation is Square Lake. Again, there are 2 openings which will be placed with a gate, and then the remainder will be the metal black fence, as well as the chain link proposed. And the chain link will run along this tree line back here. Behind this tree line is squirrel, so they're running along that area. You can see also the existing wooden fence in need of some repair, and they are proposing the replacement. And the front view here, you see the openings to the property, which will be gated, and another view here as well. As this is a 6-foot fence, it does require Zoning Board of Appeals. The applicants are aware of that and have already made application for the approval or for the application to move forward, pending the Design Review Board recommendation today. And with that, I can answer questions or turn it over to the applicant for further information.
Hi, I'm Gordy Muskelly from Kimberly Fence, the contractor on the job.
Anybody have any questions?
Do we have a landscape plan?
We do not have a formal landscape plan for the area. Oh, sure, sorry. We do not have a landscape plan other than the existing fence plan we have right now with existing shrubs and trees.
I'm sorry, your name for the record?
Sorry, I'm Steve McCallum. I'm with the school board. Yep.
You know, your if my view of this is correct, your landscaping is on the inside of the fence. I personally would like to see, I guess, a landscape plan typically, and I think the ZBA is going to ask this also. You're asking for a good sized fence along the road, and typically we're going to want to see that type of fence screened really completely with with full year screening. The inside of the fence really is your view, so that isn't going to be as much of a concern. But I think it would be appropriate. My suggestion would be to seek a landscape plan so that we can see what the intentions are.
And that's definitely noted. I think our primary objective obviously was pushing forward with the fence plan due to the safety concerns we have with the students in the current state of the fence right now. There is there's other construction plans for other pieces of the property that are currently in process right now as well that do contain some potential landscape extensions for this property as well. We didn't know whether it would be wise to pursue that right now or after. It's not something we're obviously against or opposed to. The big thing is obviously the safety of the students and moving forward with the fence as quickly as possible. We did make sure with the look of the fence, the black chain link, the only reason we chose the black chain link on the far side on Squirrel Road is because it's almost completely hidden by the trees on the outside on that side. The front, we went with the most appealing looking fence we could find, which we did think was a pretty dramatic improvement from kind of the rickety old falling down wooden fence that's currently in place there that's rotting and decaying away. But yeah, it's definitely not. I don't know if you have anything to add on that.
So just to
Can I ask a
piggyback
question?
and to piggyback on what he's saying, as we've been on the ZBA and they will want this screened, and as somebody who is on the side looking at, they screened their side of the chain link fence, my neighbor, because they know it isn't attractive to look at. They never screen mine. So as somebody who looks at a chain link fence every day, is not attractive for the ones. So that's why the ZBA is going to want this screen. That's why he's warning you that the approval, if I was still on the ZBA, like the board member, it would not be approved unless you had shown me the plan. They would require you to have that plan when you go to the ZBA.
Yeah. And to be clear on the chain link, that is only on the side that is screened completely. The front side is not
Right.
chain link.
But the front would also, I personally haven't seen the ZBA approve a 6-foot fence visible to the public with no screening.
Okay.
And I haven't been on it for a year. I mean, we're
Sure.
talking 6
Yeah.
years back, 15 years back.
Which 6-foot fence? The chain link fence running
All
along?
fencing that is visible to the public is typically screened. That is very old and was probably long before these rules existed.
Right. And the top of that picture is where this side of the chain link, the black chain link fence is going to run on the
Not just
inside of the
chain link, all
property.
fences, even the other fence.
Right.
Yeah.
But for the chain link fence, would we need to put any screening up because we already have the natural on that side? It's coming on on the school side of the property. It's not going on the other side.
If it's not visible to the public, you're fine.
Yeah, it won't be
If it's
visible.
But that front one is fully visible to the road,
The 6-foot,
be screened.
the decorative aluminum.
yes.
When you say screening, do you want
20 or 12-month, like pine trees, they often do arborvitae.
6-foot tall fence? You want nothing visible of the 6-foot tall fence?
Typically, you have to hide the fence.
In light of recent circumstances, do you really think that's advisable? We're trying to put a fence up so people can't get into the building. If we put shrubs or stuff in front of it, it makes it, if you scroll to one of the other pictures,
They
the
wouldn't be
type
able
of
to
fence
get that
we're
either.
putting in it's climb resistant. It's difficult to get
It's not
over.
about climbing, it's about how it looks. Bloomfield is different. The IHOP doesn't have a blue roof. There's things that are different here than others, and that's why Bloomfield's so pretty. We
Right, well-
we never even used to allow fences. So the way that Bloomfield accepted to allow fences is we don't want to see them. So I get that, like in other communities, you may not deal with this, but in Bloomfield, it's different.
Okay, we just,
needed to look.
we obviously understand that, and we just wanted to make clear, obviously, safety is our first concern. We're
Likewise.
big on beauty as
Yeah.
well, but with everything that's going on, even this week with safety.
Safety,
we
it would
wanted to
definitely be
sure-
safer to have trees in front of
But
when you talk
it
about school
wouldn't,
shootings.
it wouldn't, I think, is the thing too, in our view, because you also can't see when we block the whole front of the fence, and we do
Right,
have a
they
new
can't see
camera
the
system in
kids.
the school.
It's a lot harder to hit
It's a
the
lot
kids.
harder to see the exterior of the fence when it is treed off, but, definitely noted, and obviously we'll
Yeah.
for sure take that into
So,
consideration.
listen, it's your plan that you're going
Yeah.
to propose.
Yeah.
So I get your comments regarding security, and you can put clumps of things. I mean,
Yeah.
if you do it tastefully, that's the concern.
for sure.
So even if you have every few sections, have either maybe some stone sections, make it so that it is appealing
Sure.
in terms of street view. We're not telling you how to do it, but we're just saying if it's tasteful, it's far more likely to get approval than if it's not.
So we need a landscape plan for the front of the fence that's on Square Lake Road, provided we get approval here before we go before the ZBA board. Okay.
Yeah, your motion here would be stipulating that you would come to the ZBA when your landscape plan's ready.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So from my standpoint, I guess what I'm going to suggest is tabling this. You're welcome then to come back in, bring your plan. We'll review it. If it receives approval, then we would approve it subject, and it would be forwarded to the ZBA for them then to review it. And then it would be up to them to give the actual variance. They may have more comments regarding the screening or not, but that would be the process, just so you understand the process of it.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah, I'm familiar, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to make a motion to table this motion. I'm going to make a motion to table this item.
Motion by Treasurer Keeps,
I'll support.
support by Clerk Brooke. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, so that passes. So once you are available, once your landscape plan is ready, let Andrea or Patty know, and we'll get you on our next meeting.
Okay.
We meet every couple of weeks, so as soon as
every
you want to
2
get that, I get the security concern.
Yeah, for
So as soon as you get that to us, we'll be happy to look at
Yeah.
Will do.
it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And yeah, even if we have a full docket, please just add them on.
Absolutely.
So if we have any other general business, do we have any recent reviews to discuss?
No.
All right, then our next meeting is going to be Wednesday, March 1st. And with that, I'd look for a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Motion by
Support.
Clerk Brooks, support by Treasurer Keeps. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? That passes. Thank you.